Hello everyone, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. I'm just going to give it a few seconds to see if you guys can find me. I actually had to start this video twice. It wouldn't take the first one, so I want to make sure that this is live. Let me see if I can see you on my iPad. There we are. Okay, I can see you guys. Hello, welcome. So this is my January online workshop. And of course we have two brand new catalogs, the Celebration catalog and the mini catalog. So I'm going to be doing 7 projects with you today, and I'm going to be using products from both catalogs. So welcome everyone. I can see you guys all coming on. So I'm going to actually turn my camera around so you guys can see my desktop, and we're going to get stamping. So hold on while I switch you over. Okay, there we go. So just wanted to also tell you guys that, oh, let me bring you up on my iPad. I just want to make sure everything's good on my iPad. I still don't see you. I thought I had you on here. I hope I'm on the right page. Are you guys all on the online workshop page? Because this is not coming up. As you can see, I keep scrolling through and I cannot find you. Facebook has been doing some funny things again. I'm just hoping I didn't go on the wrong page. I just need to go check out my other group page to make sure that's not where I am. Okay, I don't see you there. Can you guys, I can see you on my phone. Can you give me a thumbs up if I'm on the online workshop page? Because I cannot see you guys. Somebody just say yes or give me a thumbs up, and then we'll get going. We'll get stamping. Okay, I see some thumbs up. So I think I'm on the right page. So I'm going to keep going. I just won't be able to see your comments. Something I wanted to let you guys know, I had one of my customers contact me yesterday that she had received her Celebration catalog, and then today she received her mini catalog. So they're still being mailed. For some reason, they're just taking forever to get to you guys. So just be patient. I did have a few of you guys contact me, and I ordered some new ones on Monday for those that hadn't gotten any. So a few announcements before I get started. We have our basic white products are now available. So for you guys that don't know the story, our Whisper White products, which is the envelopes, the note cards, the cardstock, the company that was making these for us went out of business because of COVID. It's so sad. But Stampin' Up quickly found another company, and we have new products available. They do have new item numbers, and I will be posting this sheet for you guys as a reference. So if you need any of the Whisper White products, you'll have these item numbers to go by. Now, when I start out my workshop, I always start out with a technique, and I'm going to bring that out. Here's my little shoe box that I always show you. Now, last month when I ended, I showed you this card that I had made. It's a shaker card with a clear envelope. And that's the technique that I'm going to show you how to create today. It's going to be a different card though, because this was the stamp set that I used last month. So let me go ahead and dig out everything that I need. I always keep everything for each project in a shoe box. It just makes it easier. So I'm using the Garden Wishes stamp set, which coordinates with our Dragonfly Garden. You guys have seen a lot of samples with that. Today I am using the large flower image, this one right here. And I'm also using Your Acts of Kindness Are Like a Breath of Fresh Air. I'm using our medium clear envelopes. I've got Shaded Spruce ink, and then I'm using, for my shaker part, I haven't shown you the card yet, I'm using our Flowers for Every Season gems. These are really neat. I just want to show you what they look like. They're really shiny. They've got like 2 different colors. I am also using, let's see, the tricolor ribbon. It's got 3 colors of purple on it. And here are my layers, but let me go ahead and show you the card. This is the one I'm making today, and you can see my little shaker parts inside. It's so fun, and these are really easy to make. Now, just give me a second. I just want to see if I can grab you guys again on my iPad. It's just so weird that I couldn't see you. See, look, I still can't find you on here. Okay. Well, we're going to have to scratch me being able to interact with you doing the iPad. Okay, I'm going to start out with Gorgeous Grape 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to fold on the score line. And then I have a second piece of Gorgeous Grape, 5.5 by 4 1/4. Soft Sea Foam, 5 1/4 by 4. And then one of our clear medium envelopes. Now let me grab a sheet of my scrap paper, because I am going to go off the edges when I do my stamping. Again, I'm using shaded spruce ink. Now the object, when you're making one of these, the object is whatever goes inside the envelope has to be flat, of course. Then you're going to do the envelope next. All the layers go on top because you want your shaker pieces to be able to move. So we're going to do all of the stamping first. And I want to go ahead and stamp around my sentiment. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. And then I'm going to stamp around that with the branch image. So I'm going to make this one really tall. And then I'm just going to make some shorter ones around it. And that's all we're going to do on that layer. That's how easy this is. The next step, you're going to actually take and put this inside the clear envelope. Now the flap needs to fold towards the back, so I'm going to put this in face down. I'm going to put this away so I don't make a mess. Now I'm going to bring in my little shaker pieces. I'm going to stick those in there. So you can see already how these will shake, shake, shake. The next step is to bring in some just regular Scotch tape. I'm going to go ahead and peel the flap. I'm going to bring this down all the way in the corner. You want it to be even on all of the sides. I'm just trying to, wait a minute, I get some that are trying to sneak in the back here. Okay, so make sure this is nice and flat against 2 of the edges. Then we're going to fold this over. So we've got 3 edges now that are nice and even with the all 3 sides. We're going to have to fold this one over because it's too long. So I'm actually going to put my tape on the edge just like that. And then we're going to bring this over and fold it. I'm just going to add 2 more little pieces on each corner. And that's it, guys. Here's your shaker. Look how easy that was. So now what I want to do is layer it. I did add, you know what? I don't need this piece. This was for something else. So scratch that piece. All I need is this one right here. I'm going to actually add tear and tape because I don't want this to move off of the cardstock. I'm going to add tear and tape on all 4 sides. And then we're just going to layer everything on the front. I think I added one in the middle too. Okay, so there's all the tear and tape. Now I just need to remove the backing. We're going to glue this in place. Whoops, that one peeled the whole thing. Let me start at this end. This is the worst part, is peeling all of the tear and tape. One more to go. Okay, so now make sure the fold is at the top. Now the reason I had changed my mind, that's why I had another piece. If you're gonna do this, I wanted some purple, the gorgeous grape to stick out. If you look at this card, I ended up having to use 2 layers because I glued my envelope on this layer and then I glued it to the card front. I didn't need to do that on this one. So now you can see how that works. Let me go ahead. I did bring in all of the die cuts. I cut them all ahead of time. And the die cuts are from the coordinating dies with the Garden Wishes, which are called the Dandy Wishes. And you can see here all the pretty shapes. There's quite a bit of, there's 14 dies in this set. So I've gone ahead and pre-cut Whisper White on these ones and the centers, which will now be called Basic White, Gorgeous Grape, Purple Posy, Shaded Spruce, and then a ribbon is just tied in a knot. Now I found that when you're gluing to the front of clear envelopes, mini glue dots are your best friend. They just glue so well. So I'm going to start out by layering these 2 white pieces. I am going to have to trim the ends. So look how, I mean, you can't even pull this off. That's how good the glue dots will stick to the cello bags. Now we're going to glue one more of the white branches. That one's going to go a little lower. And again, I'm going to trim this. Next, I'm going to do the cute little purple flowers. So again, with the glue dots. It's going to go right here. I'm going to add a piece in the center. I'm going to build my flower. Here's the gorgeous grape flower. Put that one right there. Now I can go ahead and trim the 2 flowers. And we've got one more of the flower center. Excuse me. Oh, hold on. I didn't grab a glue dot on that one. And then because I have these cute little shakers on the inside, they also serve well as the center of my flower. I just used the bigger ones, added a glue dot. Put that right in the center. Let me see if I can grab another bigger one here. And I'll show you what that looks like up close. So there's the center of my flowers. Isn't that cute? They're kind of flat on one side and then rounded. Okay, now we've got these cute little shaded spruce pieces. I can't find my glue dots. Hold on. Where did I end? Right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and tuck this in there. So we're going to do one right here. I'm going to add one in the center behind the flowers. But make sure I don't cover my sentiment. And the third one is going to go on the left side. So look at all the layers, but look how easy these were with the glue dots. I'm just tucking and pressing everything in place. Now we've got the ribbon. I just tied a knot and did the angled cuts on each end. And I'm going to add a couple glue dots. And then push this down over the stem so they'll stay in place. So there we go. There's my first card. So this is a clear bag or cello bag shaker card. And you can see here how I had done the one with the little puppies from last month. Really cute. So let me go ahead and move all of this over. And we're going to set up for card number 2, 3, and 4. Now for this card, I am, for these cards, I got 3 cards. I'm doing a stepped up version. I am going to be using our new mini Stampin' Emboss machine. And you guys that have been waiting patiently, our machine is finally available for all customers. The item number is 150673. For those of you that have not seen our machine yet, it works just like our big one. You just pull down and there's your base. And then we have our little plates, and I'm using die cuts today. So I'm using plates number 1 and then 2 plates for number 2. Okay, let me see. I don't want to show you my cards just yet. So let me flip that over. This is one that I made with one of my clubs. And because I'm using the floating and fluttering bundle, I thought I would show you this card. Isn't that pretty? I added the clear wink of Stella on the butterflies. That's not the one I'm making today. I just wanted to show you that. So again, floating and fluttering, and the coordinating fluttering dies. You can see there's quite a few dies in this set. Heal Your Hug, which is one of our celebration offerings that you can earn for free with a $50 order. I'm also using the Oso Ombre designer paper. Now this is another offering in celebration that you can earn for free. These are 6x6 sheets, and you can see all of the patterns that I have here. And you'll see them on my cards that I'll be making with you. Let me dig out all of my stamps. Got lots of stamps. So I'm making 3 cards. I'm going to start out with a simple card, and I'm going to step it up twice. I know a lot of you guys like to see me do the stepped up cards. For inks, I'm using Rococo Rose, Mint Macaron, and Coastal Cabana. And let me go ahead and dig out card number 1. Now I am going to be using different colors on this one. I started out with Blackberry Bliss on the 3 cards that I've got already made. These cards are going to be using Rococo Rose. So here is my clean and simple version. I'm going to start out doing that one. Just need to bring in my scoring tool. Okay, so I'm going to start out with 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. And we're going to fold that on the score line. Next is the Oso Ombre paper, the designer paper, 5 1/4 by 4. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that in place. And like I said, I'm using this paper on all 3 cards. So this is kind of a tone on tone card. You can see I did the same thing on card number 1. And this time, so on the first card, just in case you want to replicate these colors, this is Blackberry Bliss, Seaside Spray ink, and Blackberry Bliss ink. This time is Rococo Rose and Coastal Cabana. Now what I like about these butterflies, you're going to see on all 3 cards, I'm going to use them in 3 different ways. On this one, all I'm going to do is stamp the butterflies all on one sheet. I'm going to stamp the sentiment right in the corner. And then I'm going to glue these in place with, guess what? Stamping Dimensionals. We want just a little bit of height. Now, I have a little story I wanted to tell while I'm making this clean and simple card. I was reading a conversation on Facebook yesterday on one of our group pages, and one of the girls commented that she makes cards for all of her family members, and one of her family members actually told her that she throws them all away when her birthday is done or when Christmas is done. So I would tend to give that type of person a clean and simple card. There's only 3 layers on here. There's not a lot of work. And if they don't appreciate the cards enough to keep them, I would go with clean and simple when I'm sending them a card. As you work your way to the stepped up version, I would keep those for your special people in your life. Don't you think? Okay, so there's card number 1. Let's move on to card number 2. We're going to use the same card base. I'm going to go ahead and score that one. 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. I usually scored these ahead of time, but I forgot on these ones. Use the bone folder. We're stepping this up, so we're going to have a few additional layers. This is the same package of paper, but we're going to use the patterned one this time. And this one actually measures 5 by 3 3/4. I just want to see what I did. Okay, I'm not going to glue that in just yet. I'm also using our fluid 100 watercolor paper, 4 1/2 by 3 1/4, and I'm using Coastal Cabana for my stamping. And this is card number 2, which would be a stepped up version number 1. So I'm going to bring in my Coastal Cabana. I'm going to squeeze the lid right in the center. We're going to add some color to the lid. And then we have water painters. We have 3 sizes. We have this one that's a really, really huge brush. And then the other 2 tips, which are more of a pointy tip. I'm going to use this one right here. Now, a little tip on these brushes, and don't laugh, because if you don't have them yet, you won't understand what I'm saying. When I got these, I tried for about 10 minutes to open them, and I couldn't open them. I couldn't figure out how to open them, because we're normally used to unscrewing this way. These are opposite. They're backwards. You have to unscrew counterclockwise for it to come off. You fill it with water, then you screw it back on. Now, something to remember about these, when I screw it on, I screw them on really tight because I don't want them to leak. When you're ready to use them, you need to actually loosen up a little bit to allow some air to go in there so that the water will drip out. Mine were screwed on too tight and the water wasn't coming out. So now when I squeeze, you can see that the water comes out. So loosen it up a little bit. I'm just going to do a wash in the middle. Squeeze some more water. So 2 things you have to remember. They come off by unscrewing backwards to what we're used to, and then loosen up to get the water to come out. Okay, now while that's drying, let me bring my card back in. We're actually going to stamp the same cluster of butterflies, but we're going to use the die that cuts them all out. So I'm going to dig this out. And this set actually comes with 2 of the same die, so you could actually do more than 1 at a time. So I'm going to be stamping Coastal Cabana on Coastal Cabana. So let me just go ahead and close that. And you know what? I need to cut this down just a little bit because, let me show you, when you're using our mini machine, it's about 3 1/2 inches wide. So I want to go about 3 1/4 just to make sure it's going to fit in there. So let me chop this off just a tad. I wish I could see you guys. Sometimes I try to look up to see the comments so I can answer you, but I just could not see you today. Okay, I'm going to bring in my little mini machine. Let me position it so I can crank it. So again, we're going to have our little tiny platform. We're going to have a clear plate, And then we're going to add our little die. And I am going to bring in a piece of washi tape just so I can hold that in place so it doesn't move on me. And I'm going to use another clear plate on top. This machine is so cute. You guys have heard me say that before. Just totally adorable. Now look, it cut the whole thing. Oh, I didn't do a very good job, did I? It must have moved on me. Let me get another piece of cardstock. And I'm also going to grab my glasses because obviously I didn't line that up very well. So let me go ahead and cut another piece of cardstock. And you guys can just have a snack or a drink while you watch me get ready again. Let's try this again. Okay, I'm going to put my glasses on this time. Here's my washi tape. I might need to grab another piece. Nope, that one's good. Okay, take two. And you know what? I'm going to do that right now, right in front of my face. I can see what's going on. Okay, right there. Don't move. Let's try this again. Oh, that looks much better already, I can tell. There we go. Now, there's always a couple little pieces there in the middle that you need to punch out. So look how pretty that is. Okay, now we're ready to assemble our card because this will be nice and dry. And what I did is I glued the designer paper down first at an angle. And you guys, when I'm done the video, I'll go back and look at your comments in case you had questions that I couldn't see. Now, when I'm gluing this down, what I'm doing is I'm looking at the position of each corner. I want each corner to be evenly spaced. That's about 1/4 inch on all 4 sides. I'm going to glue the watercolor paper in place. And I'm going to go in the opposite direction. And again, I'm looking at my corners, putting them down even on each side. We're going to do the same sentiment in Rococo Rose. And then we're going to glue these down with what? With Stampin' Dimensionals. I think I'm going to bring a few of the mini in also. There we go. So which one do you guys prefer? Do you mostly use the bigger ones or do you use the mini? I tend to just use both. I don't think I could do without one or the other now that we have the mini ones. I still use the big ones quite a bit though. Okay, so now this is going to go right here. Just like that. Look how pretty. Look how pretty that is. So this is card number 2 of the stepped up version. Now let me bring in, so card number 3 is also going to be stepped up, but this is where we're going to do the little wow factor in the card. So this time I am doing a card fold, and let me give you the measurements. So we're going to have 2 card bases on this one, and you'll understand when I show you the card. Piece number 1 is 9 1/4 by 4 1/2. We have 3 pieces of basic white. This one measures 3 1/2 by 4 inches. And then we have 2 pieces that are 4 inches by 2 1/2. So this is piece number 1. Piece number 2 is your normal 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. designer paper 5 1/4 by 4, and then 2 more designer papers, and these are 5 1/4 by 1 7/8. If you guys are not sure about the 1 7/8, you can see on my ruler, it's the 2 little lines before my 2. I know a lot of you guys don't like fractions. So this is going to be card number 3, stepped up version, and it opens like this. This is a double Z fold, so you can see how it's positioned. So I'm going to show you how to make that one. So again, the different, the cardstock Blackberry Bliss on this one, Rococo Rose on this one. So the 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 piece, we're going to score at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. And then the skinnier, longer piece is going to be at 3 3/4 and 6 1/2. Okay, so let's work. We're going to work on the card base, the larger card base first. You can see that there's 3 pieces of designer paper in that one. So that one folds in half, and then the opposite way. There's your Z fold. So we're going to be using these 3 pieces. Now, just to let you know, for those of you that are watching and commenting, even though I can't see you, I'm going to pick a name for someone to win all of the cards that I'm making today. And I'm also going to have some door prizes for anybody that orders through my workshop. Here's designer piece number 2. Number 3, and if you'll notice what I did here with the ombre, it starts out light to dark, dark to light, and I'm going to do light to dark. I'm going to do them all opposite to each other. Okay, that's it for this piece, just the card base and the 3 pieces of designer paper. Now we're going to move over to the inside piece. The larger area is going to be your front piece. So that's going to fold in half this way, and then this one's going to go in the opposite direction. We're going to use the detailed trio punch to punch out the corners. The only 2 corners I did was this one here in the center and one on this end. So we're going to do this one. Make sure that's in. And then I'm going to fold this one and do both layers. So that's what this piece looks like. Next, we need to also round the corners on the white pieces. So again, the top right, the top left, and the top right. Now, you'll notice that my butterflies are a little different on this one. They're all separated instead of being grouped like they were on card number 2. So this time what we're going to do is dig out the single butterfly dies. We've got 3 of them. I'm going to stamp the same way that I did the other 2 cards. We're going to stamp the cluster. Oh, I need to cut my piece first, just so it'll fit in the mini machine. So now let me re-ink my images. And you'll also notice that I've got the ink on the white piece also. That's how you're going to layer your butterflies. This is actually going to serve as a pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment first. Then we're going to stamp the cluster. Let's see, I'm going to turn it at an angle just a tad. So now we're going to know where to glue our cardstock butterflies. So let me bring in the little mini machine to cut out the butterflies. And I am going to use washi tape again. I have my glasses on, so we should be good to go. So let me go ahead and add this one first. Now I can't do all three at the same time, only because these two are a little too close to each other. So I'm going to do these two, and then I'll have to run this through again. Okay, let's make sure those are nice and straight. Yes, they are. So there's two of them. Now we're going to do the third one. And then there's a lot of die cutting on my next 3 pages, but I did the die cutting ahead of time. So this should be the last time that I use the machine for today. So now we're going to flip all of these over. We're going to add dimensionals, and you'll see how these are going to act as the pattern. You're just going to put them right over the ones that you stamped. Look how easy that is. And you still have the little antenna showing on each butterfly. So look how neat that is. Just to show you the difference between stamping them this way or cutting them as a cluster this way. So 3 different variations on these butterflies. Now this is ready to glue. Actually, I need to bring in the mint macaron ink. And I'm going to use my water painter. No, actually I'm doing that wrong. There is the leaf images. I should have done that first, but I think I can still sneak them in there. And those are going to color your leaves. Let's see, this is the little branch one. So you can see that all my leaves are colored. And now we can glue this piece in place. And I'm almost done with card number 3. That's going to go right here. And next we're going to do the inside. And all I did was add a cluster of butterflies. That's what all of these are for. And I'm going to actually, I want them to be a little lighter, I believe. I'm trying to think, because you can see how light these ones are. So I'm going to bring my scrap piece in. I'm going to stamp on my scrap piece first. And then do that so it's a little bit lighter. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Now we're going to add some color to the center of both of these. You can see those line right up. Okay, there's my 2 big ones. Next is going to be this little tiny one. I'm going to do mint macaron. Let's see, we've got one up here. We've got one down here. And let me clean off my stamp so I can do one in Rococo Rose. I left a little blank spot in the middle there in case somebody wants to sign their name or leave a little message. Now let's see, this time we'll do the Rococo Rose for the second layer. And then on this one. Okay, so now we can just glue these in place. And you can see here, now when we glue this to card base number 1, we add glue to the full piece on the 3rd section, but we only add glue to half. So I'm going to flip this over. We're going to fill this with glue. And on this side, we're just going to do half. And the way I position this, I'm using this one and I'm gluing it about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. I'm going to close this up, and then press that in place. And there's my little double Z fold. So let me bring all 3 of those back in just so you can see what we did for the stepped up version in case you guys are tuning in late. So here is my clean and simple. This was stepped up number 1 and then stepped up number 2, which is the Z fold. Isn't that neat? I just love doing these types of cards. So again, as I stated, you have your person that tells you to your face that she throws away your cards when she's done with them. I would give her this one and keep these 2 for your more special people that appreciate your cards. Okay, let me go ahead. I need to clear some of the ink pads here. And I need to make a couple of announcements before I head on to my 3rd set of cards. Let's see, I gotta look at my list so I don't forget anything. Now, because it's celebration, what I have been doing, it's the best time of year to join the Stampin' Up! Family. I've listed here everything that is included when you join the family during celebration. You get to pick $125 worth of products and you pay $99, free shipping, and you also get 5 packages of designer paper. Now these packages of paper are going to be in the annual catalog in June, so you're getting them 6 months before anybody else just by joining. And that is, there's 40 pages of designer paper. These are all the color families. So you get 200 sheets of designer paper valued at $57.50. So the total value when you add all of this up is $205, and you pay $99 plus your sales tax. So this is a great time of year to join, and I would love to have you on my team to help you out. So the cards that I just did, I listed all of the supplies you saw me use today. If you add up these supplies, you are at $122. You're at your choices to join the family. So you can order all of these items, which would include this stamp set and the dies that you saw me use. And you would get everything that you saw me use today along with the 5 packages of designer paper. I'll post this on the page after my workshop is done, because I'm doing the same thing with the next set of cards that I'm going to show you also. Now, one more thing. As I place orders throughout celebration, I always end up earning a lot of products for free. And what I do each time is I order the same product. So right now I have a lot of the paper you just saw me use. I have a lot of the Touch of Ink stamp set, which, where's my catalog? I need to grab my catalog. You guys will see when you're looking at your catalog, most of the products you can earn for free with a $50 order. But when you get to this one, it's more towards the back of the catalog. And this one is a level 2. You need a $100 order to earn this for free. So what I'm going to be doing with this, I started this last year. It's called Celebration. All of the customers that order from me for the next 2 months, the higher sales that these customers have given me, you guys are going to earn this for free from me. So I'll be sending a list out like the first week of March for those that qualified to get this for free. And I'm going to have card kits to go with this also. So I just wanted to make that announcement. Okay, now let's get ready for 3 more cards. And this time I am using the well-suited designer paper, the handsomely suited stamp set, and the suit and tie dies. There's 14 dies. You can see there's some missing here because they're going to be with the cards that I'm going to show you. A lot of you guys know that my favorite type of cards to create are masculine cards. And this set, I just love this set. Now, as you see me use products, again, I came up with a list for you. If you wanted to join my team, you could get this whole suite with a couple additional products added to it to reach your 125, to get all of these products and then the 5 packages of designer paper also. Now, let's see, I'm using Poppy Parade, Cajun Craze, Pacific Point. I've got the Classic Label Punch, the Treasured Tags Punch, which is a new punch, and the Tailored Tag Punch. Let me see, let me dig out my first set. So again, you're going to see me use these products that I have listed on my cheat sheet for you. I've gone ahead and done the die cutting ahead of time just so you wouldn't have to watch me use the machine again. So card number 1, I used the little necktie die. Look at how cute these are. I've got 3 neckties. I've got a scrap piece of white for stamping. I have Pacific Point 11 by 4 1/4 scored at 5 1/2, and we're going to fold that on the score line. Aren't these cute? And you know, I haven't done this yet, but I'm pretty sure you could actually take this necktie, after you cut it out, you could make it shorter by adding this right here and just running the tip of it through the big shot. If you go in this way with the big shot, this way first, just roll for a little bit till you feel the cut right here, you can make shorter neckties. I've got a piece of gray granite, 4 1/4 by 5, 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So let me go ahead and glue that in place. Let me move all this stuff. And then I'll show you the card. I feel like I'm talking to myself because I can't see you guys. I wish I could see you. Okay, there's my card front. And again, this is a clean and simple card. Look how cute. Just by adding the neckties and a sentiment in the center. So I'm going to do Pacific Point. And I need to dig out my stamps. Now this time I'm doing a birthday. This one uses the Tailored Tag Punch. And I think I'm done with this ink. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip all of these neckties over. We're going to add dimensionals. And I think I need to use the little ones at the top. See what I mean? You need both of these sizes. I'm going to start out, let's see, let me see how, I get different colors here. I get the black instead of the white. So I'm going to start out with the black one. I'm going to do that one in the center and a little bit lower. And this time I'm going to add the Calypso Coral. No, this is not Calypso Coral. Actually, it's Poppy Parade. I'm going to add this one to the left instead of the right, just to be different. There's that one. And then my third one is going to go right here. Now I don't want, I didn't want another layer up with the dimensionals. So an easy way to do that is to add your dimensionals right between your neckties. Peel those off. And then your sentiment will be the same height as your neckties. Look how quick. There's card number 1. Now let me dig out card number 2. Now this one uses quite a lot of die cuts, but I cut everything ahead of time. This time I'll show you the card first so I can explain as I go. Look at this, isn't this cool? We got the little suit jacket. So the card base is thick whisper white, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Whoops. Let me grab another bone folder. That one fell on the ground. And let me show you how I cut this. So this is in 2 pieces. This is what my designer paper looked like. And it's 5 1/4 by 4. I brought in my little V shape. I put that right at the top. So when I cut, this little piece came out. And where is my, okay. And then you can just use this for something else later. So that's how you get the base of it done. We're going to glue that in place. You know, I've seen some really neat cards with this set. I've seen camouflage jackets. I've seen doctor's jackets. You can do so much with this. And these, the next 3 cards that you're going to see are from the kits. You guys that order $50 or more, actually $35 will get you the free kit. $50 will get you the pearls that I listed on the page. And then if you do the 50, you'll also get 1 free celebration item. So you're better off doing the 50. Okay, next you're going to need another piece of designer paper. This is what this die cut out. And what I did to save on my designer paper, I actually took the little pocket and I put it right here and I cut out 2 pieces. So I was able to use that little V piece. So that's the pocket and the little collar piece. And I want to glue that so there's height, of course. So I'm going to add dimensionals at the top and the middle. At the bottom, I want this to be flat. So I'm just going to add a little bit of liquid glue. Let me peel my dimensionals. I'm going to start way at the bottom where I wanted this to be flat. I'm going to work my way up, and there's my collar. So it gives it a 3-dimensional look by using the stamping dimensionals. My next piece is my little white collar, which is this piece right here that I've already cut. We're going to use more dimensionals, of course. I just love how this all comes together. And then we're going to add the collar, and I'm trying to remember, it goes this way, I think. No, it goes this way. Why does that look funky? How did I do this one? This way. Oh, it's folding the wrong way. That's why. It needs to go up like this. So we're going to add that so it's right even with the designer paper on each side. There we go. There's our collar. That was freaking me out there for a little bit. Then we got the little bow tie. I'm just going to add a mini dimensional to the center. Oh, these are some really funky colors. There's my little bow tie. And lastly, we're going to do You're the Best for the sentiment. And I'm actually going to use Cajun Craze this time because that's the color that's in the stripes. and the classic label punch. Now I wanted this to be a little shorter, so what I did is I went as close as I could to one end, and then I'm going to feed it back through. If I can get it in there. Come on. I'm going to go as close to the other end, and I have a shorter version. All I need is a dimensional right in the center. We're going to put that right here. And then for the pocket. Now, the pocket, you can do two things. You can leave it as is. You can cut this with another color and you can use it as a little kerchief on the inside. But what I did with mine, I actually used some tissue. I added some adhesive on the back. I just cut up a little piece of tissue. And all I did was kind of put it in there, just fold it over. And then you can just rip whatever's sticking out. So there's my little tissue. And then I added some dimensionals where it wasn't too bulky right there. And where there's so much bulk there, I'm just going to add some liquid glue. So you can make whatever you want inside the pocket. You can do it whatever way you want. And then this is going to go right about there. So there's card number 2 using the dies. Isn't that cute? So you can come up with so many different combinations on this one. One more to go. Now, being from Maine, I really had to laugh when I saw the suspenders because we have a lot of lumberjacks in Maine. So the suspenders are just what we need up here. Now, I'm hoping I didn't lose any of my little buttons. Let me show you the card. I think this is a Riot with the red suspenders. And then I used the silver foil for the little buckle pieces. So again, we have 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Now, before I glue this to the card front, I'm going to use this pattern. You can see that I used the collar in the same color, but it's got a little V cut there. Now, let's see if I can figure this out. Okay, this is the right way, right? No, this way. What I'm going to do is actually glue this in place first with dimensionals. I'm going to add that right in the center, hopefully. And you know what? What would be an easy way to do this would be to fold this and just make a little fold mark right there, just so you'll know that it's the center point. And what I did is I took my paper snips and I just traced that and cut it out. So there's my little collar, because it would look weird without cutting that. Next, we've got the little suspenders. So let me move this. I'm going to add liquid glue to both of these. Now this is going to be even at the top. It's going to be too long, but I'm going to trim those when I'm done. There's the first one. I think these are just so funny. It's a riot. Trim these off. And then we're going to add the little silver foil buckles. So we're going to glue one to each side. And I've got them about 1/2 inch from the bottom. Okay, now before I add my buttons, now I wanted to show you the buttons. It's kind of neat because you can actually cut all of these buttons. There's 6 in one die, so pretty quick to cut. But I want to do my sentiment first. If I can get that over here. And where is my happy birthday? Okay, I'm using the same one, so let me go ahead and clean that off. Here's my chamois. And I'm going to use Poppy Parade for my color. Whoops. I'm going to use the new Treasured Tags punch. That's going to go right in here. And again, I usually flip them over to make sure it's centered. And I'm actually gluing this flat this time. Can you believe it, guys? No dimensionals except for the collar on this one. I'm going to add that right there. And now we can go ahead and add the buttons. So let's see, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5. And that's where the little take your pick tool comes in handy, because you just pick it up and glue them in place. Whoops. And then I'm just going to show you guys some of the celebration products before I go for this workshop. Okay, now we can glue this to the card front because we've got our shirt all built and ready to go on the card front. And you know, even though this is a masculine set, you could create feminine cards, a little pearl necklace or some bling on there. These can be used just as well on feminine cards. Okay, so there's card number 3. So again, if you place an order, a $35 order, you'll get 3 card kits just like this. The only thing you'll have to supply on your own is the sentiments. If you do a $50 order, you'll get to pick any of the level 1 celebration products, and you'll also get a package of, let me show you the jewels that you'll get a package of for free. These jewels right here, the pastel pearls for a $50 order. I'm going to throw that in as a gift to you. So there's those 3 cards. I'm going to bring in the rest of the cards that I made today. So 1, 2, 3. And we've got all of the butterfly cards. And I have no idea where my other card is. I just chucked it off to the side. So we've got the technique card that needs to come in here too. Oh, I got it. It's right here. Hold on. So there's the little shaker card that I created also. So let me go over some of the products with you. For celebration, the ones for level 1 that you can pick, we've got the designer paper Flower and Field. We've got the paper blooms. That's another, there's 3 packages of designer paper this time. And of course the Oso Ombre that you saw me use. We've got the Darling Donkeys stamp set, Approaching Perfection stamp set. And then as my door prize, anybody that places an order, you're going to be entered into a door prize for the Corner Bouquet stamp set and 12 sheets of 6x6 designer paper that I cut. So this is my door prize. As far as doing a workshop, now I can do these online workshops for anyone that is interested. All you need to do is invite family and friends. And if you reach a $300 ordering, you get to earn the Punch Party stamp set for free. This is also celebration only. You cannot buy this. And lastly, oh, I just dropped my punch. I'm going to bring out my celebration book because this one here I used yesterday and you guys all fell in love with it. This is a level 2 stamp set and designer paper you can earn for free. which is the Berry Blessings and the Berry Delightful designer paper. Now, what's great about this set, we have the punch that I just dropped on the floor that coordinates with the Sweet Strawberry set. Those are both from the mini catalog, but you can use all 4 of these products together. And let me show you a few cards that I made. The one that I made yesterday, which had upside down strawberries on it, I fixed my strawberries. They're right side up. They look like pears. And the little bookmark that goes on the inside. This was a bookmark corner card fold. And I've got 2 more cards. I made this one using the designer paper, and again, the images from, I think, both sets. And my last card, which opens like a box top. So my customers, you'll be getting your project sheets on this. Anybody that places an order during the month of January, you're going to get some free project sheets from me, and this one is part of it. And that just folds just like a box top. See how neat that is? Okay, I think that's all I have for today. I am going to be announcing my Merry Christmas Club for next month soon, so be on the lookout for that on my business page. And if you guys have any questions, let me know, and I will go ahead and review the video after I'm done here today so I can answer any questions. Have a good week, everyone, and thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next month.